NXT Black and Gold is back, baby! Well, at least that's what we're hoping. So, if you're like me and you haven't been watching NXT 2.0, there was a video package there at the end. So it was the 1 year anniversary of the NXT 2.0 brand and the colourful scheme and Triple H not being there and all of the wacky gimmicks that have been going on and that era of NXT. It's been 1 year since all of that had taken place. And at the end of this week's episode, they played a little video package showing, you know, we are here to celebrate the past. We're here to celebrate the future. And we are NXT. And they had Shawn Michaels doing the voiceover for this, which obviously leads you to believe that the old era of NXT, which Shawn Michaels had a huge hand in, is coming back. And not only that, but we got a new logo. It flashes up the colourful NXT 2.0 logo and then it changes. It morphs into the black and gold logo. And it's not the old logo that we had, it's a new version of the NXT logo. Reminiscent of the NXT 2.0 logo, but the colour scheme is the black and gold, showing that the black and gold brand is coming back. And now there's not been much major news in terms of reports of exactly what's going to be happening here, but WWE did put out an article on their website. I think it was only like a 1 or 2 liner article saying that major changes are coming to NXT. And further to this, pure speculation on my part, but NXT are doing tapings for next week before they go live again the week after, which would allude to a set change potentially. And that, to me, makes me think we're getting pure black and gold again. And that excites me. Now, there's many reasons for this. Some people definitely hold NXT, the black and gold era, the multiple eras of that, in very high regard. And for me personally, I do. Now, maybe not for the reasons everyone else did, but NXT kind of brought me back into wrestling. I was a bit of a lapsed fan, as you were. I'd dipped in and out of it. Obviously, you come back for the big events like Mania every year and these sort of things, but I dipped out a little bit. I wasn't really in that world. There's a bit of an era that kind of passed me by, and it's nice to go back and catch up some of the highlights. But NXT got me back because it was about the wrestling, right? It wasn't sports entertainment. It had a lot of stars from the indie scene, and it drew me back in, and that has got us to where we are today. Like, I'm here talking to you about wrestling again because it's a passion of mine, and the black and gold brand epitomized that for me. And if that's the direction we're going to be going back to, hallelujah, great. And I think it's fitting that Triple H, so if you've not seen the Triple H interview with Ariel Helwani, I'd really suggest that you go out of your way to watch it. It's brilliant, fantastic. Ariel Helwani is a great interviewer. Triple H says on there that taking over from Vince, the conversations are always around, well, what's your favourite flavour of ice cream? Now let me explain that. To people in the wrestling community, wrestling, it's all ice cream, it's all good, right? But what's your favourite flavour of that? And there's different styles of wrestling, we all know this. And you can kind of see it here. Vince's flavour of wrestling can be a bit goofy. 2.0 was extremely goofy. When you think fundamentally about what NXT is supposed to be, it's a feeder system, right? So you almost had this disparity between the brands originally, because you had all of these indie peoples putting on great stars, doing Triple H's style of wrestling to go onto the main roster, which was Vince's flavour of wrestling, albeit slightly toned down from the NXT 2.0, but there was a bit of a disparity there. So when people went across, it was hard for them to fit into that system. Vince didn't always see the value in them, didn't understand them as this character, had to change them. We see that with like Karrion Kross recently, and now he's coming back as Triple H's version of Karrion Kross. So there's always that disparity. So when it went to 2.0, in a strange way, it kind of makes sense, because you had people then going down the road of getting the experience that they need to go onto the main roster, which is what NXT is supposed to be. It's a developmental program, it's a developmental show to develop talent to go onto the main show. And that was working fine, right? So you kind of had people, and they probably fitted into Vince's mold, Vince's vision, hence all the wacky gimmicks we started getting. Tony D'Angelo for one of them. But now Vince is not in charge of the main roster in terms of creative, in terms of everything. Triple H is in charge of creative. So it would make sense that he'd want to revert back to his style, his flavour of wrestling. And I think that's what we're going to start seeing. I don't think they're going to stop getting talent from different corners of the world. I think if you've also heard Triple H talk about NXT UK, which they've demolished, for lack of a better term, that's going to change into NXT Europe and expand out, which was always the idea with Triple H in charge, right? Of NXT at least, to become local but global, right? That was always his catchphrase. And I think that's the version we're going to get. And to have NXT as NXT flagship in the US, to go back to the black and gold and to go back to feeding what Triple H would like to see in the future, for me, that can only be a good thing. And I really hope that's what we're going to get here. So let me know, are you a massive fan of the black and gold? Are you upset if we actually go away from the 2.0 era? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to German.